Hey everyone. Yes, hell is frozen over and I've made 2 videos in 2 days. Very shortly, in the next couple of days, we're going to get season 3 for Tekken 8. And I thought, since there's been a last couple of posts from Namco about what we are to expect, I thought I'd just go through it and maybe add some of my thoughts. And maybe I'll go through the things that I actually want changed in the game. So, what is it that I actually want from this game? Obviously, heat is not going away, and I never expected heat to go away. Every single round of every single match is a bit much. I thought they had a good idea with Leroy's cane in Tekken 7. The heat move is like a super power. Oh, sorry, his cane was like a super power up that you could use once a match. Heat, if it was like that, it would be fine because then you could play almost normal Tekken the rest of the match. But then once a match you had a big power up, it would give strategic thought of when you used heat and made you use it wisely. So that would immediately, instantly, massively improve the game. So you either do it once per match or you do it with a meter. Now, I've never been a fan of meter being in Tekken. I prefer to keep that out of it. But once per match, that would be more than fine. In fact, I'd be probably happy about heat at that point. So the just general lack of counterplay on moves. Now, this is really just a balance thing. Every single move, apart from very generic tools, should have a pretty major weakness that has some sort of counterplay to be exploited, whether it's ducking a roundhouse kick that tracks, a very powerful move being always minus on block, just things like that. Pretty obvious things. I find it baffling sometimes, some of these moves characters have, and you just think, why the hell is that safe? You know, these homing, half-screen homing moves that are safe on block or worse, plus frames on block. Also lows, they basically, in my opinion, shouldn't really be safe lows in the game. Safe lows, for the most part, should be a thing that doesn't exist. They should all be punishable. I'm not talking full launch punishable on every low, but every low needs to be punishable. So that's more of a bit refinement thing. I would like to see the characters actually react. So when you get hit by a move, you actually see that there's some sort of response or animation, and you can kind of tell what plus and minus frames you are, because Tekken's been criticized by a lot of people for having too many moves and needing to have an encyclopedic knowledge of the entire roster to be very good at the game, and I'm one of those. A lot of the new characters, I just don't know what they're doing, and it's a lot of the legacy ones I'm able to handle better just because of my knowledge of their strings and such. But if you had like a little animation changes, like, you know how you get the big staggers with like blocking a snake edge or something, do that but at a lesser extent. I think Virtual Fighter's kind of going that way with their animations. You could do the same thing in Tekken. I know it's a lot of work, but I feel like that's how you fix Tekken in terms of that and make it more of an accessible game instead of making the game dumber. Like, it's way better. Now, I know there's some pushback on that where people think that they like that part of the game where you need to lab and study and know the frame data. You'd still need to know frame data, but this would give you more of an in-game dynamic, engaging with a new opponent in real time instead of getting your ass handed to you completely and having to go back and replay later or sit in practice mode for hours going through thousands of moves. Chip damage still sucks, and I realize it's not going anywhere, and the health changes did help to mitigate it a little, but I've got to the point where I just don't even bother to look at my health bar anymore for the most part, because all it does is give you anxiety that you're going to die, but really you just got to defend and then fight back, and then your life comes back. The life regen thing's okay, maybe could be tweaked to work very well in Tekken, but at the moment I'm sort of iffy on it because of the chip damage system. Yeah, not a big fan of it. I mean, it's a lot better now. It was like egregious before the changes last season, but they've mentioned nothing about this season, so they must be happy where it is. I just think it doesn't really have a place in Tekken. Guard crush moves, these things, they absolutely don't belong in Tekken. I think they're nonsense. And if they do, they need huge weaknesses. But I just think the game's aggressive enough. You don't need to be punishing people for trying to block something out. Unbreakable throws as well. I don't think they should exist either. A throw is almost like an overhead, really. You know, they're reactable and you can defend against them. After fixing or reverting all this in future, maybe hard aerial tailspins. They need to be like, I like big combos, don't get me wrong. I'm actually not a fan of people that say that they want to go back to the old style of Tekken when you're doing massive damage and you're hitting 3 times, or like how Soul Calibur is. Not a fan of that. I do like big combos. I like the creativeness of combos. It's actually one of my weaknesses. I'm pretty bad at like converting combos on the fly when a outcome happens I don't expect, but even so, I still prefer it that it's that way. Yeah, no one wants to see a cutscene, but I still want them large. That said, it's egregious. It used to be back in the day you'd have like Lee and Nino. They would be the characters that were designed to give you the big wall carry combos, was part of their identity. Now every character can do it, and it just gets a bit samey. That hard aerial tailspin needs to go. You should only allowed to do one aerial tailspin. Also, a way to fix this, and I know this won't be happening in this game, but in the future Tekken, you could fix the combo system, just make the aerial physics less floaty, and so you couldn't get as many hits. That would be an easy way to do it. Oh yeah, so on the note of combos, one of the things, the problem is the heat smashes. Kazuya, I think, is balanced right. To actually do a big combo with his, you'll see me drop it all the time, unfortunately, in my videos, but to do actually a huge combo with a heat burst extension on Kazuya, it's actually quite tight timing. You'll see even Kasuke drops it all the time. It's extremely hard, but when I've played other characters, it's like you don't even have to think. You just dash up and mash the button and it hits them every single time, even if you're half screen. So I feel that all the characters need to be nerfed down to Kazuya's. Give the opportunity of someone to fail, and when they fail, they could potentially be punished quite hard. Okay, Namco, it's time to stop messing around and put chickens back in the game. Restore key charge to how it used to be and just fix the characters with the problems, exploitable problems. And finally, reinstall all of the execution that you stripped from the characters to make them boring and homogenized. I think in fighting games, execution is important. It opens up design space and allows you to create tools that are extremely powerful, especially if they're hidden behind a difficulty or execution barrier, and if the punishment for attempting that difficult execution leads in a punishment or an advantage for your opponent. It adds Yomi layers to the lasagna of a fighting game and makes them more interesting. There should be risk versus reward, and it also adds to the layers, the mind game layers of a fighting game. If you fight an opponent that has these incredibly powerful techniques, but if they fail to do those techniques, then the advantage is on your side. Things like that. You can create interesting situations. And the bottom line is casuals don't care. You're chasing an audience and making it unfun for us and not really affecting them at all. Oh, and by the way, put the Mishima's electrics back to how they used to be and stop giving all these stupid shortcuts for everything. Can we please get some of the overlap moves removed instead? I would rather do a complex maneuver on the stick or control pad to get out my rage art and just down forward in both punches, which actually overlaps with my patricide fist, which I actually want to do in combos sometimes. And then you get the rage art that you never wanted to do in the first place. Well, that's pretty much front-loaded about how I want the game to change. As we go forward in this video, I'll be having a look at Namco's response to the community response of their trailer and them somewhat backtracking, which is concerning. So let's see what we've got here. News. Tekken 8 Season 3 and Version 3 update plans. Thank you for the tremendous response to the Season 3 trailer revealed at the Tekken World Tour Global Finals. Since its release, we have received many messages of excitement and anticipation. But at the same time, we have also seen some interpretations and speculation that differ from the intentions of the development team. That is a foreshadowing, if you will. Ahead of the scheduled March 17th release of version 3, we would like to provide accurate information about the update's content and direction. Therefore, we are sharing the details once again. 1. Battle balance adjustments and launch of the Tekken Dev feedback portal in beta. Battle balance adjustments. This post provides additional clarification regarding the intent behind the Season 3 battle balance policy terms, refined balance, and back to basics. These terms do not denote a return to earlier Tekken battle systems, nor do they imply drastic, comprehensive changes introduced in a single update, in line with the current Tekken 8 battle system. Season 3 focuses on refining areas where outcomes tended to be extreme, establishing conditions in which decision-making and tactical judgment can operate more consistently. I always have a big problem with the way that Namco chooses to word these sort of things. It's very corporate and vague, could mean anything. Even the terms refined balance and back to basics, it gives such like a... It definitely conveys the idea that they're making drastic changes, and then they're like, oh no, and they make the backtrack in fear, because in fear of the backlash they're going to receive. So this is very worrying straight away. These terms do not denote a return to early Tekken battle systems. Nor do they imply drastic comprehensive changes introduced in a single update, in line with the current Tekken 8 battle system. Refined balance and back to basics aren't final goals. They are simply principles that help guide the team in evaluating issues and deciding how to adjust the game moving forward. In other words, they're saying we're just doing incremental patches. I don't know, are the sales for this game like that good? Because it doesn't seem like it is. It seems like the community's really fallen off and really against it. They took a sledgehammer to the game last season, whereas initially I thought the game was rough around the edges, and obviously everyone sort of didn't like Heat very much, but there was the core of something they could work on to refine to be a good system. All the Tekken games have been a mess on the first release, right? Especially the arcades. Some of the first version of those arcade machines are terrible. Now's the time where your community's in shambles that you need to take a hammer to the game, a jackhammer, if you will, in the right direction and make some drastic changes. Some of the things many of us have been squawking about, which I will get to at the end of this video. I can see I'm already feeling on the verge of crashing out myself. Refined balance reflects a phased and measured approach to adjustment, making incremental refinements rather than rebuilding systems in a single step, while maintaining the core mechanics of Tekken 8. Back to basics establishes the criteria for assessment, whether exchanges of offense and defense function appropriately, whether defensive and evasive decisions are... I can't speak today, English is hard. Decisions are reflected accurately in outcomes, and whether individual errors produce disproportionately large consequences. Okay, isn't that just like a balance patch? Just put in the most flowery terms possible. Accordingly, Season 3 does not guarantee dramatic immediate shifts such as substantially strengthening defense or significantly weakening offense in ways that diverge from the intended gameplay philosophy of Tekken 8. Well, maybe your philosophy's not right. Maybe that's the entire problem. Below are the examples of adjustments included in version 3 and the starting point of Season 3 balance updates. 1. Removal of wall splat following heat smash hit. I mean, that's good. Up till Season 2, heat smash hits yielded disproportionately high reward, often limiting the defending side's viable responses. To mitigate these extreme cases, Season 3 removes the wall splat effect triggered by a heat smash on hit. Okay, well that's good, because that was cheesy. Well, Hihachi got it, Horang's got it. Let's have a look. Sorry for the sound. So that was before. Okay. Oh, that's good, but it is quite a big thing because a lot of characters have horrible things like that, but I don't think this is what people really wanted to see. Up to Season 2, heat smash hits yielded disproportionately high reward, often limiting the defending side's viable responses. To mitigate these extreme cases, Season 3 removes wall splats effect triggered by a heat smash on hit. Okay, good. Well, my character didn't even have that. Example 2. Revision of character-specific power-up states in Heat. Up to Season 2, if the activation of heat also granted a character-specific power-up state, like Claudio's Starburst, the power-up remained active even after heat ended. This enabled players to continue applying strong pressure derived from the power-up beyond the duration of heat. In Season 3, character-specific power-up states will now conclude at the same time heat ends. Okay. I mean, that's pretty big too, but at the same time... It's pretty big too, but at the same time, it's like... Is this what you really want to showcase us to get us excited for a new patch? Okay. Well, that is good, especially with some of the egregious things that like Brian and such have. In addition to the system level adjustments outlined above, version 3 will also include balance changes to individual character moves. The version 3 patch notes are scheduled for publication on Tuesday. Okay. Balance adjustments will not end with version 3, rather updates will continue on an ongoing basis. Large-scale abrupt changes carry a risk of unintentional distortion of the battle environment. Therefore, adjustments will be implemented gradually and continuously in alignment with the defined policy direction, including in conjunction with the introduction of new characters. I mean, the game's pretty distorted. It's a pretty distorted Tekken game as it is. Like, Jesus Christ. Maybe remove some of the distortion? I know they've got to make the game appealing, and it can't be just Tekken 7 all over again, but ahead of the version 3 update, the development portal compromised both a dedicated website and official Discord server separate from the official Tekken Discord is scheduled to open on Monday. The URL will be provided separately. The portal will function as a centralized platform for collecting information necessary for continuous improvements to the battle environment. Reports regarding battle issues or system defects may be submitted via the website forum and may include text, video, and images. Detailed submissions will assist the development team in improving the accuracy of issue analysis. After moderation, submitting reports will be shared within the official Discord server where users may provide reactions and comments via threads. I mean, that's kind of a good idea, but it's better than just spamming Mike Murray's Twitter and getting blocked, I guess. But at the same time, this is 2026, man. Every other developer's moved. They left the arcade long ago before you guys did, and now everyone just runs beta. Run a beta server, Don't force these changes on us without us seeing how they're received. Actually give them to us in game in a beta version of the product would be a much better avenue. And sort of blah blah blah, really. Cooperation. This is a beta. Operational improvements and feature enhancements will be continuing. Yeah, okay. So you're gonna relaunch the Discord for everyone, sure. 2. Rank match reset matchmaking logic improvements. To ensure fairness and appropriate distribution of player skill within the new balance environment, we will implement a rank reset along with several system revisions. Ranked reset and season participation rewards. At the start of Season 3, each character's rank will be recalculated based on the player's highest achieved rank during Season 2. This enables Season 3 to begin with rankings that more accurately reflect the revised battle environment. In addition, special titles will be awarded based on each player's highest achieved Season 2 rank. I mean, this is par for the course. If you've got a game that you're basically treating as a live service game that is a competitive environment, you've got to do these rank resets. Otherwise, people have got no reason to play the game, really. Not a ranked anyway. Ranked point system visualization and adjustments. The post-match display will now present a clearer breakdown of rank point gains and losses. Previously, only the total value was shown by making bonuses and deductions more transparent. We aim to improve player understanding and perceived fairness. Adjustments will be also made to promotion bonuses, win streak bonuses, additional rematch, victory points, and demotion criteria, ensuring that each player progress and challenges are evaluated appropriately. And matchmaking logic improvements. Matchmaking will be refined to reduce pairings between players of significantly differing skill levels. Ranking logic for secondary characters and rank based matchmaking restrictions will also be reviewed to improve fairness, maintaining reasonable matchmaking times. Additional details will be available on the patch notes scheduled for Tuesday. See, this seems very minor. I would expect these sort of changes in just like a standard like monthly patch. They've decided to change things. So, and they haven't updated the game for months now. Like seriously in the balance direction. It's like, it seems like they're, I mean, Grinding Gear Games, right? For like the action RPG, like Path of Exile series, they're running 2 games and they run like massive free content updates every few months. And I know their patch cadence has slowed down a little bit too, but man, they'll make big changes when changes need to be made. And I know their excuse is the tournament scene, but I mean, doesn't Dota do patches? I'm sure Dota does big patches during tournaments and stuff. I mean, it's just something you got to live with. If you've got Anna terrorizing everyone with all her bullshit and hitting you in the face with a bazooka, with the shell and the bazooka itself, I mean, make the change. And then we've got update schedule, season pass, anniversary campaign, upcoming this week, refined balance, a ranked reset, refined balance. I mean, this is season 3. Like, we kind of expect something big. Like, there's no new moves or anything. I mean, after the last debacle with them adding new moves, probably that's for the best, but it seems like they're so scared to do anything drastic, and the game needs something drastic done to it. I fear it needs that. You're not going to bring people back from minor adjustments. You need something big right now. Otherwise, Season 4 may not occur. Anyway, and the rank reset, which is standard fare really. And then we get the actual character release data, so late spring Kunimitsu. We get Bob, Roger Jr., and some mysterious character in black and white. Ooh, black and white. Is this a guest character? Are all you Tifa Lockhart gooners salivating in anticipation that it may be Tifa? Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be Tifa. Really, they would make a killing if they used her, if they got her. Despite having Final Fantasy characters in this game constantly that should be in Soul Calibur, but that's a rant for another day. But hold on, so we got Kunimitsu, Bob, Roger Jr. This is the Frame Whisperer season. This is the bro, we miss you. Please come back and play our game, Frame Whisperer. Here's all your characters. So, if this is the Frame Whisperer season, does this mean this character is Miguel? Could it be Miguel? Blah, 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 dates. Oh, and please buy our shit. Please make your characters look ridiculous and fill our coffers while you do it. I do make tasteful changes, I think, to my characters, but look at this ridiculousness. Jin looks like he's about to go to a gay bar. Anyway, season pass content release schedule, expanded early access period, which is always bullshit. Please buy our shit. Surprised there's no Jin body pillows and Kazuya watches. Okay, and pictures from the fans, which is always nice, but just whatever. Adjustments that respect each character's concept, strengths, and weaknesses. Weaknesses? What character's got weaknesses in this game? While preventing excessive performance gaps between characters. I'll believe it when I see it. Re-evaluating the relationship between character-specific power-up mechanics and the heat system. Okay, that's so very vague it could mean anything. Prioritize improvements that align with Tekken 8's core gameplay and Season 3 balance theme of Refine, based on feedback received to date. Okay, that's potentially good, but are you listening to the right feedback? Fighting game players, especially even at the both extremes, the casual side always asks for bullshit. And the pro side always asks for stuff that will give them advantage on the battlefield. So I think you kind of want to take the medium normally. Do listen to those guys, but I wouldn't do character balances around what pro players want. And likewise casuals as well. Based on each player's ranked at the end of Season 2, starting ranks for Season 3 will be determined. For main characters, ranks will be reset by up to 4 tiers. As the lower limit for Marauder and sub-characters will no longer start at the same rank uniformly. That's good. I hated that change. I want to let me play the game and give me a reason to play some other characters. I kind of get that you want to push the Smurfs out of the lower tiers. I think I went on like a 20 win streak when I first started playing ranked, and then shortly stopped playing ranked again because I just have fundamental issues with how it's designed in this game. Because at the moment, one thing I will say about Tekken, it does have decent matchmaking. The player base isn't that large. My experience with matchmaking compared to like a game like Street Fighter 6, I find I get matches on Tekken way faster. And if they change the matchmaking logic, but the player base is not there to support it, I'm a little bit worried. I would rather fight someone way higher level than me than sit waiting for a match forever. So hopefully they're doing that in the wise way. What about the new modes? Put in new modes. People be begging for it. You want to bring people back, especially the casual audience that you seem so desperately to chase in the wrong ways. Tekken World Tour Esports. When does this start? Here's an interesting thing. May through November. So what? Are we going to get Are we going to get consistent patches, or are you guys going to dump a bunch of stuff on us for season 3 and then just stop updating the game again in May when all the tournament season starts again? The way it's worded, it seems like that's all we're getting, which is concerning to say the least. These sort of patches should have been consistent all last year, and if they're just going to start them now only to stop them in a couple of months' time, you will find a community that is increasingly more frustrated and continues to bleed players. Anyway, that's me for now. Let's see what the next patch brings on Tuesday, and let's hope that we're not all cooked. So saith the doomsayer Necropants.